Hey, what's going on, everyone, and welcome to an early morning commentary. I say that because it's literally 6:23 a.m. and I got school in a few hours, and I thought, I woke up this morning and I had a lot of video ideas, so I might as well crank out a video before I go to school. Anyway, today's video is going to be talking about what I want to see for Black Ops 5 or the next Call of Duty in 2020. For this video, I'm just going to consider it Black Ops 5 just because the trend that Treyarch has been on for the past decade. It's been Black Ops 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can assume it's going to be 5, so I'll just refer to it as Black Ops 5. We are coming up to Call of Duty leak season as well, so we will be getting the leaks coming out soon for the next Call of Duty. We'll be getting teasers soon and trailers soon, and then we'll have maybe a community event similar to how Black Ops 4 went. So today I just want to talk about what I want to see. Starting off with multiplayer, I want to see, obviously, a boots on the ground, simple multiplayer, hopefully with the new engine that Modern Warfare used, just to give it that hint of realism, or I guess smoother gun movement. I want to see Black Ops style weapons in the Modern Warfare engine, and I know both Call of Duties, or like all Call of Duty studios, will most likely be using that newer engine, so guns will be more realistic and stuff like that. And when I say realistic, I know Modern Warfare tried to make their game hyper realistic, but I don't want Treyarch to make their game super realistic. I want them to make it, I'm going to use the word cartoony because they tend to make their multiplayers very cartoony. Not so much Black Ops 1, but Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, and Black Ops 4, their Call of Duty multiplayers were very arcadey. More arcadey than usual, if that makes sense. Also, I want to see a fun prestige system, so we actually have motivation to grind levels and prestiges in the game. Maybe give us 10, 15 base prestiges, and then once we hit 10th prestige or 15th prestige or whatever the top prestige is, then send us to master prestige, and then we can do levels X to 1,000, which would be fun. That would give me personally a lot of motivation to actually play the multiplayer through. Unlike Modern Warfare, where I'm just kind of in a stagnant area where I'm not playing multiplayer as much just because there's nothing for me to do. Also, I want to have a fun dark matter grind. I feel like a fun dark matter grind, everyone wants that. I enjoyed doing the Damascus camo grind for Modern Warfare on my channel. My channel grew exponentially off that series as well. So I kind of have motivation to keep growing my channels off of the Black Ops 5 dark matter grind. But I also want the grind to be fun itself and challenging itself, just to give me a challenge in-game. Maybe not have it as tedious as Modern Warfare's Damascus camo grind was, but still have a challenging grind to get dark matter nonetheless. I want fun original maps, maybe throw in a few fan favorite remakes here and there. Surprisingly, for Black Ops 5, I don't want to see a Nuketown remake for multiplayer. Maybe throw some of the maps that we've seen in the Treyarch Call of Duties that we haven't seen remastered yet. That's personally what I would like to see. Maybe in the summer of 2021, give us Nuketown, but I don't want to see Nuketown as like a main advertising point for multiplayer. I just think Nuketown's overused these days. Same thing with Infinity Ward, shipments kind of overused these days, so I would like to see a switch up of the maps that they bring back. Going on to campaign, I just want a classic Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2 style campaign where the story really grips you and entertains you all the way through. The Black Ops 3 campaign was really rough and not that good, and Black Ops 4's campaign, if you even can call it the campaign in that training mode, was very weak. So a good storyline that's connected within the Black Ops universe, that is an actual good campaign, I would like to see in there as well. For zombies, I would like to see a really fun dark matter grind. Specifically, I would like to see the camo in zombies for dark matter, or the mastery camo if you will, be different from the multiplayer's mastery camo. That way I can grind the multiplayer mastery camo and the zombies mastery camo. And I would also like to see a system where if you have the dark matter in multiplayer, let's say the dark matter in multiplayer is purple, you can use the multiplayer dark matter in zombies. And then if you have the dark matter in zombies, let's say it's red, just like it was in Black Ops 4, you could use the red dark matter in multiplayer. So you can kind of flex that you've done the mastery camo grind for both modes by using purple in zombies and then using red in multiplayer. That way I could grind zombies and multiplayer evenly. Because usually in Treyarch games since Black Ops 3, or I guess there's only been two, with it being Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4, I have grinded zombies mainly just because I tend to enjoy the zombies game mode a little bit more than multiplayer. So hopefully this year in 2020, the multiplayer is very good and gives me motivation to play it, as well as I'm hoping it's just an overall fun experience. I also want to see fun, creative game modes that we saw in Black Ops 3. Like, hopefully for me, it's going to be boots on the ground, so the parkour mode from Black Ops 3 really won't be a thing. But maybe we will see trials similar to what we saw in Modern Warfare. But I want to see Dead Ops Arcade, maybe throw in some mini game modes in there, just so we have lots of content to play on Black Ops 5. Black Ops 4 was definitely nowhere as close to as good as Black Ops 3 was in terms of content. So hopefully in Black Ops 5, they can rebound and kind of bring back the hype that Black Ops 3 had. I do want to touch on Blackout here, since I honestly hope they bring Blackout back. Personally, in my opinion, if they brought back the Blackout map 1-for-1 and then like basically port Blackout from Black Ops 4 to Black Ops 5 and then slowly do map changes throughout the Black Ops 5 season the same way they did with Black Ops 4, I would love that. I would love to see a Blackout with better graphics and just a smoother engine overall. That would be so much fun for me. And I don't know for the rest of the community, but if Blackout returned with the exact same map and then they slowly made changes through it based on how Black Ops 5 goes, I would love that. I think it would be that third game mode that we could grind. And if they have a Blackout specific mastery camo similar to Dark Matter, so say it's green for Blackout, you have the purple Dark Matter for multiplayer, the red Dark Matter from zombies, and the green Dark Matter from Blackout. You could grind all three and have a fun time doing all three of those. What would be amazing, and I highly doubt this would happen, but if in Blackout they took all your cosmetics from Blackout in Black Ops 4 and carried them over into Black Ops 5, that would be awesome. Of course, the weapon variants and the weapon camos probably wouldn't port, but if you had your characters port over from Black Ops 3, or I guess Black Ops 4 into Black Ops 5, that would be cool to use all your characters. And then if they did like some sort of carryover, it would be very cool. Maybe if they even carried over their stats from Blackout in Black Ops 4 to Black Ops 5's Blackout, that would be very cool. I don't know how hard it would be to actually code that and make that as a developer, but I'm assuming that would be very hard, and you would almost have to have Blackout as a standalone game at that point for that to happen, which I wouldn't be opposed to. Even if it was like $20 to buy the Blackout standalone, I'd probably still do that just because I enjoy the game mode so much, and it would be worth it in my eyes to pay for it. But that's just like an idea I'm throwing out there. I'm sure that's very hard to do, and with the 1 year that Treyarch has had to develop the game, it would be very difficult for them to do that. And talking about Treyarch developing the game within the year's cycle, that does raise some red flags, because Black Ops 4 took 2 years to develop within the 3 developer cycle. So the second Black Ops 3 was done, they started working on Black Ops 4, and look how Black Ops 4 turned out with 2 years of development. And I know within that development time, they did end up scratching a lot of the stuff that they had previously made and started from scratch. So that worries me a little bit if they had to do that within the 1 year development cycle. But then to counteract that, I also think back to the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 days when Call of Duty was on a 1 year cycle anyway. So Infinity Ward would make a game, then Treyarch would make a game. So each developer studio only had a year to make the game, and those games turned out the best. So that brings me a little bit of hope. But with the stress of hardware these days and how graphics are in games and how much attention to detail developers are putting in games these days, that kind of does worry me a little bit more. But I have high hopes. I hope that all my worries for Black Ops 5 will be diminished as the leaks get released. I didn't really talk about zombies in this video, so I'll touch on it now. In zombies, I want them to either focus on all ether or all chaos story. I know a lot of people in the end of Black Ops 4 said don't bring back chaos story, but I feel like with where Ancient Evil left off, I think the chaos story could have some promise for Black Ops 5 if they focused on chaos only. If they do chaos only, however, I feel like Zombies Chronicles 2 for the Transit Trilogy maps is much needed, just so it gives us that hint of ether and that hint of the stuff that we love the most. I want them to go back to the classic perk system. And if they do chaos only, I wouldn't mind the Black Ops 4 perk system carrying over. However, any ether map in Black Ops 5, for it to be successful as Black Ops 3 was, you need to have the classic perk system. Hopefully they also bring back the classic point system and classic health system. I say this because in Black Ops 4, they actually removed a bunch of the building blocks that Zombies was originally created on, being the health system, the point system, and the perk system. They completely rewrote those and changed it completely, which could have turned out good, but they just didn't execute it properly. So I would like to see a return to the classic zombie style with a simplified HUD, because you don't need a crazy heads-up display where you need to see every single thing like we did in Black Ops 4. I think if they just keep it simple, zombies can rebound off of Black Ops 4. Same with multiplayer. Just go back to their roots, listen to the community, but also do a lot of the things that you as developers want to do. Because I feel like when developers or the higher ups that influence what the developers do, when you listen to the community too much, the game can end up going bad. And when you listen to the community too little, the game can also go bad. So you have to find that kind of sweet spot where you don't listen too much, but you also listen just enough to make the game perfect. And that's where I'm going to leave the video off here. I'm definitely going to do a Clubhouse cast episode where I talk more in depth about this. I hope you guys did enjoy this morning commentary. I'm going to try to do these more often just because they're a little bit more laid back and actually surprisingly really fun to make. Leave a like if you guys did enjoy, dislike if you didn't. Subscribe if you guys want to see more videos and Call of Duty guides that I will be putting out in the future. I'm about to head out, and if there is one, I will see you in the next one. Peace.